Good evening, Mallory.
Good morning, Sam.
Welcome back to the Nobody Leaves podcast, where today we're going to be talking about the hit manga, soon to be an anime, Akane-banashi. It's a special episode, a very special episode of the Nobody Leaves podcast.
This is an extremely special episode. For those of you who have gotten used to our usual rhythm, you're going to really get thrown for a whirl for this one when we subvert your expectations comedically, just like the rakugo in Akane-banashi.
Let's get right into it. All right, transition over. Of course we got to talk about bullshit for a minute, but I like a very special tag to me will always be like 90s, like the episode of Home Improvement where one of the kids is interested in drugs or something. Like it will be like that Reagan era, like, or the Reagan era, like aftershocks of like, and then little Timmy had a marijuana cigarette. Like that's always what I think of when I think of a very special episode.
Yeah, see, that makes me think of what I've been kind of like rewatching, getting into this week, which is none other than Has Been Hotel, Sam. I've been getting back into the mines, the discourse mines. I've been poking around. Has Been Hotel is probably the most discoursed show of all time. I'm just kind of throwing that out there.
You're completely throwing that out there. Like, I haven't seen it.
There's a lot of discourse shows.
But come on.
There's a lot of discourse shows, but like there is a lot of back and forth vitriol on this project.
You lived through like
I've just been kind of
the 2000s Sherlock. Like, come on.
Yeah, but I guess like I feel like people were more on the same page about it. Maybe I'm just like naive and not reading enough, but yeah, there's a lot of people offended in all directions, and it's I've been redigging into it, but yeah, like one of my favorite episodes of Has Been is where, and I like it, but there is an episode where they're kind of doing the thing of like, hey bud, you know what'll get you really messed up, and they like show the drugs, and the other's like, I thought you were better than that. It's like, what are we watching? Like, what is this morality play?
But is it a parody of that, or like it's serious?
Well, it's so weird because they have an episode where they parody it, but then they have an episode where they kind of do it pretty unironically, and you're like, what is this? Like I don't know. It's a very hit or miss hodgepodge mess of a show that is very fun to just look into and dissect and poke around at. So that's what I've been doing this week. That's not that interesting, but
Mallory, I'm receiving breaking news from like a week and a half ago because of our recording schedule.
Oh.
Hollow Knight Silk Song, the bane of every Nintendo Direct for the last 4 years, has been announced. It's coming out September 4th, which will also be like a week after this episode comes out. I am now on the clock. I must finish my video essay before Silk Song comes out, or it's never coming out, because I happen to be a very big Hollow Knight fan. So I'm on the clock. The Andor video, 4 months of my life, for a mediocre Star Wars analysis, must come out this week, or else I am screwed, because I'm gonna play so much Silk Song, Mallory. It's gonna be awesome.
So you're gonna release the Andor video. Are you saying that you're making a Hollow Knight video before Silk Song comes out? Or
no, absolutely not. It's more that Silk Song will take over my life, and nothing productive will get done. This is going to ruin my running schedule. Like, I'm doing my ultra marathon in like 2.5 weeks from when this video comes out, and Silk Song comes out like right before that. I'm just going to it's going to ruin my life.
Here's what I think we should do is I think that we should record 2 alternate segments that we can play here, and there will be like the version that like if you were successful in getting your video essay out, and there's the version that if you're unsuccessful, and the other version doesn't have to see the light of day.
They're both unsuccessful. Who cares about Andor at this point? The Emmys don't even remember Andor. No one on YouTube's going to.
Wow, that's crazy. No, come on. People care about Andor, Sam. Don't
I still
don't get your
care.
head down.
I still care, but I care about Silk
All
Song
right.
more.
If uh
You got nothing to say about
Kiss
Hollow
Mary
Knight.
Kill Silk Song Andor has been until
Well, I'm gonna kill my co-host Mallory, and then I'm going to kiss and marry Hollow Knight Silk Song because wow, Hollow Knight's a
Whoa.
good game. I'm replaying it, and it's just wow. One of my top 5
Andor
games of all
gets
time.
nothing.
Andor gets a attaboy. It gets a gold star. But Silk Song,
Listen, I think that if you're one of these like video game nerds, like kind of like loser shut-ins that are playing Silk Song right now, and you've been, it came out, earlier this week, and you're just stuck on Silk Song and you haven't seen the light of day, crack a window open, go for a walk in the park, listen to Sam's video about Andor, and
if it's out.
like fight fascism and get a life and
Well, here's
think
the
about
thing.
the real world.
Here's the thing, Mallory. Even if
Okay.
Andor never comes out and my YouTube channel dies because I am obsessed with Silk Song and I'm trying to like beat it on Absolute Radiance or whatever the new version of that is for this coming game, basically hard mode. Even if that all happens, there's another video essay they could go watch. What's the deal with Gigi from Dawn to Dawn? You want to talk about it? You're coming at me. You're coming for the king.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I pass every single day of my life with absolute radiance, so
I see.
I got that covered. But yeah, I released a video essay, everybody. It's very good.
It's good.
I did
Mallory's
a very
being
good job on
sheepish. Rare Mallory shyness. But yeah, no, it is good. Mallory put out a video essay and
Yeah.
immediately put to shame my channel, my essence, my Dawn to Dawn fandom. Made me reconsider some things about Gigi, about the evil eye. It's cool. It'll be linked in the bottom of this video.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be too like, it's shucks, guys.
God
But
forbid you
it's
talk about the
also-
thing you've been working on for a week on the podcast that you also run.
Yeah. Well, I'll be releasing more video essays now. Probably mostly about Dandadan because I'm pretty stuck on it overall right now. But I'm trying to pivot and just talk about whatever. But yeah, it's hard work. I think I can more fully appreciate the effort that goes into your video essays now because they're like, as much as you're complimenting me and like I do feel good about the script, like there are aspects of the production that I certainly phoned in. Like we've had a lot of conversations about mic quality. It's not something that I think about or notice nearly enough for someone who's like trying and putting themselves out there on YouTube.
Well,
It's a pretty important aspect.
I said this when I previewed your video, right? Because you ran it by me before you published it. Because I am a proud parent in this situation. You speak with a confidence that I do not when it comes to recordings, and so like I think your video is really good, and people should go watch it. But also, you now have the sickness because we've had multiple conversations this week, not about Akane-banashi, which I thought was rude, but about like audience intention, YouTube analytics. You've got like the sickness, as I call it.
Yeah, it really is a sickness and an illness. I do catch myself refreshing the views like throughout the day in a way that like podcast episodes, I feel like we're in such a rhythm and
Fire
like
and
there
forget.
is scheduled upload time. Yeah, like, I put them out there and it's like a week later I'll like check back on the feed and be like, "Whoa," or "Oh, no one cared."
Oh.
But like, yeah, it's like, "Oh, I nurtured and like nursed this like a baby bird to health and now it's like flying and I gotta like be very like delicate with it, so
As someone who has kicked
yeah,
many a
it's-
bird out the nest and watched it plummet to the earth to die in obscurity, it's a fun time. YouTube's fun.
yeah,
I still
no,
like it.
it is
like
fun
5
and
years
I
later.
yeah, it's like getting your thoughts out there, having a quality product where you like actually got the point across and you expressed it is really cool. And like seeing the comments, it's like, there's not like 100 people telling me I'm so smart and cool, but it's like the fact that even like 2 or 3 people would like give thoughtful responses and like be appreciated and like receptive to like your thoughts is like really meaningful. So yeah, small YouTube gang, I think is very fun.
Small
stuff
YouTube
to
gang.
do.
You were already a
Yeah.
YouTuber, but now there's a new aura to you. I don't know what it is. You're glowing.
I've left my I've left my dark career behind. I'll never delete that channel, the Young Wooloo channel, which like we're gonna probably stop linking in all our stuff because this is my like serious channel that I'm trying on.
Oh, is
But
that
Young
official? We
Wooloo
haven't
is
talked
like,
about this.
yeah, no, I think we are. So like Bad Luck Maru is now my new channel where I'm gonna put effort in and make quality content. But Young Wooloo will never not exist because I have like dark urges, and every now and again like a real hunger strikes me and I have to make just the worst thing ever and just kind of lob it out there. And if I don't have a platform to do that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. If these like tech oligarchs ban the whole internet, like I don't know how I'm gonna make myself heard. I'm gonna be alone on a mountain face, like scratching into like rocks, like Despacito parody songs. Yeah, that was a weird tangent. Let's move. Oh, Dandadan. So I found a gacha because I've been searching a lot for like the Dandadan merch,
Mm-hmm.
that's cheap and
So if it's cheap,
affordable.
it has to be random,
I have like
basically.
yeah, like I got a
box.
little Ikarin keychain, which was cool. Like I bought that, but I got like a little gacha machine, and I spun it, and look what I got. Da, 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 da.
It's my favorite character, who you don't care about.
It's Sam's favorite character.
Ira.
She's good. She's nice.
She's fighting like Beethoven and shit right now in the anime. It's great.
Yeah, next time I send you stuff, I will probably mail this alongside with it. Unless I start really liking her character, then I'll keep it.
But you've already seen her playing with the little space alien. Like, what's there not to like?
It's pretty amazing. I don't dislike Ira, but I'm like, right now the joy you would get out of it eclipses the joy I would probably get out of it. So,
well, I'll be honest. I've never really carried a torch for like the acrylic keychain like style of anime merch. This conversations were making me realize that like I've liked Dandadan for many years at this point, but like the anime only came out like a 3/4 of a year ago. And I haven't been to an anime convention since it came out. It's going to be really weird. Like, again, proud papa. Like, the thing I care about so much is now going to have so much bootleg merch that I could, like, buy. And I haven't had that experience. Like, to me, Dandadan is still, like, this underground manga that people should enjoy. But now it's, like, the king.
Yeah, no, that's what I've been kind of, like, waiting for that shift to happen. Like I've definitely had a lot of kids like talk about it and reference it and stuff like in my classes, but I feel like when I go to a store, like you're still seeing kind of like Haikyuu, Chainsaw Man, and oh my god, Demon Slayer is crazy right now because the movie came out and all my students explained it to me
The Infinity
at
Castle.
length. Yeah, so I feel like those kinds of things are maybe still like taking up a lot of the like store space in areas, like in a way that like Dandadan just kind of has its like little corners. So I've struggled to find merch that I'm like really like about. I would get
I
would get a
takes like a
Jin
year delay.
figure though.
Like it's gonna explode
Totally.
in merch, but it just hasn't happened yet.
I want an Evil Eye figure of him just like being the worst.
There are.
Cool.
I remember there were a couple of cool figures. I don't own very many figures. I have 2 that are sitting behind me, total in like 12 years of being an anime fan. But my sister collected anime figures for a long time. Probably still does.
Yeah.
And like it is an expensive hobby. But there was a series of really cool figures that would be like two of the Dandadan characters. Like it'd be like Momo and Okaroon, right? And it'd be like Okaroon transformed and Momo using telekinesis. And it was I don't know who made them, but I remember being like, yeah, I could, if I wanted to like blow $100, I could do that pretty easily.
Yeah, I have zero figures. I've mostly like stuck with like plushes and keychains, but I've wanted a figure for a while. I really want a Sasuke one. I feel like it'd be so good. I just want a high quality, like just him running. That's when I get big and I blow up and act like I don't know nobody, then I'll get a Sasuke figurine.
Your
That'll
first
be my,
YouTube
like,
check
big
has to go to a Sasuke figure.
Absolutely.
I understand.
But yeah, those sound cool though. What are your two anime figures? Is it the Eva Unit 1?
I bought the Eva Unit 1 with you. Yeah, it was in Akihabara many years ago.
Yeah.
This is apparently the
It's
Sam's
shiny.
Toy Box episode. But yeah, this little Unit 1 is very cool. My favorite thing about it is that it has its stand looks like the weird like hexagons that like come up in like the nerve interfaces all the time. It just is very solid to me. And then I have Makoto from Persona 5, just because it was like on sale, and I like Makoto a lot. She looks like a biker, and she kills and punches people. It's good. She punches like evil shadows.
Two good things to have as a person.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta make me play Persona. I know we had this discussion, like this is something that we decide a week from now is what you're gonna pitch me, and like we were maybe tossing back and forth doing like Hollow Knight.
Persona 5 Royal would be a hell of a pitch.
Way
like,
after.
You got 120 hours to blow.
127 hours. Yeah, I think that I would like to play Persona, and I feel like the only way I ever will is if you pitch me, but yeah, that's probably maybe need a week advance or for another typhoon to come and cancel work.
It's like a long game. I'm not going to
really?
roll a boulder over you and be like, all right, play Persona for 127 hours, Mallory Franco. No, it is...
How long is 120 hours? How many days
Mallory,
is that?
you got to sleep.
How long are you awake in a day?
Like, you're awake for like 14 hours at best, and you're not going to be playing Persona for the entirety of it.
14 hours? Isn't that 18? Hold on, everybody.
18 would be, you have 8 hours of sleep.
It's 16.
Or you have 6 hours of sleep. And you're making me do math bad.
16 hours, and so 10 days? 10 days. 10 days of not eating or...
going to work. The headache, the eye strain alone. That'd be horrible.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, I'm not going to make you... You'd hate it. You'd come back and you'd be like... I don't remember what happened in the first 50 hours.
That's true.
No, we'll find a way to torture each other with long recommendations at some point. But that's a season 2 podcast idea.
Yeah, when the podcast gets real, when we start getting like, I feel like the kind of malice towards each other hasn't set in. We're still like, operating kind of as friends and like, being very respectful to each other with our pitches. Like, it's, that'll be where, like, you stupid mother, you need to sit down and you need to
10
ruin your
seasons
life
of
for
this.
podcast.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
No, it's going to break bad, so viewers, stay tuned. Remember the good times. But
what's going on, Transition Queen? I'm waiting for it. I know it's coming.
Shout out to my best friend in the whole world, and their name is Write Only, Read Only. Write Once, Read Many. Shout out to Write Once, Read Many for commenting on our podcast and being extremely encouraging and explaining to me about Homestuck. And now that I know stuff about Homestuck, and now we could maybe read Homestuck in the future because I've been informed with more knowledge about it. But shout out to you. You're the reason that gives me the transition. And this one goes out for you. I don't want to have eye strain anymore.
Now, what's going on here?
Thanks for the donation. Write Once, Read Many, and now I don't want to get eye strain from playing a video game. How about we go see something more traditional some more traditional theater and we go listen to rakugo.
This might be the worst one. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This could be the worst. Don't cut this out. I want the people to know that I am disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in myself for letting this go on.
This is like
I feel
when
like
they
we've let
publicly
Akane-banashi
stoned
down.
people.
What do you say?
This is like when they publicly stoned people. I'm being like publicly humiliated for the masses.
I'm gonna tie you to a post and
like
light
the
you on
guillotine.
fire. Let's talk about Akane-banashi. I'm gonna Joan of Arc you, all right? You know, because you deserve it. Because that was just terrible. Leave all
You're
this
gonna
in.
crucify me.
The audience will be on my side.
Oh.
Mallory has walked away from her computer. I want everyone to know that Mallory is dog shit at transitions, and history. Oh, hey Mallory, how's it going? History will remember. Yeah, I know you're ready to talk about the manga. Yeah, you got your water.
Yeah.
If you had a sip of water, I think that would have gone a lot smoother. You know.
Yeah. Maybe I should try it again.
No, I don't think you should.
Okay, speaking of not reading the room, Akane-banashi is awesome, and there's a lot of stuff about reading the room in it. And I like this series. That's my thesis statement.
All right, Mallory, off the dome here. Speaking of storytelling, of trying to get a point across, let's talk about the art of rakugo. Something that I know nothing about, except for I'm an expert on it because I've read 200 chapters of a manga about it. We're talking about Akane-banashi, soon to be an anime, currently a manga. My beloved.
Wow. It's a good manga. Everyone.
This podcast is a weird energy. I'm just gonna, you know.
I didn't expect you to stop talking. It's it's a really good manga, everybody. Yeah. So I think that this is sick. I think that rakugo is like really interesting and like a unique kind of staple of Japanese culture. It's something that I've known about without really engaging directly with at any point during my time like studying Japanese culture. Despite living here for this long, I have unfortunately not really had an opportunity to go see it. This manga has definitely inspired me to want to seek it out more. Because it does go on like that. I have had chances. There's one I was like so excited and I ended up getting like very sick like the night that we were supposed to go and sat it out, which is unfortunate. But yeah, no, it's like really interesting, and I think the series in general does a good job of like broadening the like relatability and understandability of this like art form, talking about the different things to go into it, to where like it was very easily to project for me to project a lot of things that I do relate to and I am familiar with, like in terms of like different art forms or conversation styles, while also like preserving the things that are inherently rakugo about rakugo, not like losing the art form in these like explanations and like getting into the specifics. And I guess, yeah, just like posing the central question of the series, which is like, what is pure rakugo? Like, what does it mean? Why is it important? Why does it matter? Like, these are all questions the series is like very actively interrogating and engaging with in a really interesting and cool way. It's a very cool, unique manga, and I'm glad it exists. And I'm glad that it's getting it's continued, because your like video essay that you originally made about it, which was the first time I'd ever heard of the series, was a lot about like, I really want this manga to keep going and succeed, and
it has.
It's awesome that it has, and it's awesome that it's getting an anime adaptation, and that more people will be exposed to rakugo. It's really cool. That's my opening thing.
Your opening statement. I appreciate it. No, thank you, counselor. I came to this manga when it was like 2 chapters in. Just another weekly Shonen Jump series that comes around, and it's like, will it live? Will it die? It lived, and I was very happy about that. And I made a video on it like 3 years ago when no one was talking about this series. Not to tip my own hat here, but tip.
Go watch Sam's video essay, everybody.
It's okay. It's not a great video, but like I instantly kind of fell in love with this series because I really liked the first chapter, and we'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, rakugo is something I knew nothing about, period. I'd never heard of it. I didn't know the term. It's really like esoteric in terms of like what it is. Like it's kind of obscure in Japan in my understanding, and in the West I'm sure it's like completely like obscure. Like there's one other anime property I can think of that covers rakugo, and I don't know, like when you look at it at face value, it is someone sitting on a cushion telling a story that the audience probably already knows. How do you make that interesting? As a person, how do you make that interesting? As a manga, how do you make that interesting? And that's probably what I like the most about this series, is that like I feel like I'm learning as I read it, because it's a subject matter I know nothing about. But the longer it goes on, I'm like, how can you keep this up? Like, how can you continue to have rakugo be the focus? Like, I really thought the series would shift and be more about the characters as it went along. No, it still is like rock solid in its foundation, and that foundation is people telling stories and the different angles to that in terms of like eye contact, knowing your audience, knowing the history of a story, getting into your character, playing a character that doesn't really represent you or a character that represents you a lot, like switching gender roles in your performance. Like it tackles the idea in so many different ways, and has given me such an appreciation over 3 years of reading this series weekly of rakugo itself. I have been to a rakugo performance because of this manga. That's how much I like Akane-banashi.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'd love to hear more about that. But yeah, like I definitely, it definitely also sparked more of an interest in me. I was mid watching a YouTube video of I watched actually a couple of people doing rakugo like before the show started. Unfortunately, I didn't finish them, so that's my not doing my due diligence for this freaking podcast. But it was very interesting, and it was also like very interesting, like rakugo, like that it exists and what it is, I would say is like fairly widely known in Japan, but like the number of comments that I was scrolling out, like written by Japanese people being like, this is my first time watching rakugo, like this is my first time ever seeing it, like wow, I'm so amazed. The number of comments that were like Akane-banashi sent me, basically. And
I've
these
heard
are these are not
a good
like
impact on like the rakugo scene, right?
Yeah,
is my understanding, is that the manga has like brought new eyes, younger eyes to this like older tradition.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily like I don't. Yeah, or I'm not necessarily like as familiar with the wider scene, but I'm very glad that that's true, and like that like art form is being like vitalized and like having the attention brought to it through this manga. But yeah, no, it's like, yeah, I guess it's interesting because I think a lot of times when we talk about like, Japanese like manga and anime, like bringing Japanese culture to like a wider Western audience, like the kind of assumption is that like, well, Japanese people know everything about this and Western people know nothing about this, and it's like it's interesting like getting into like these more like niche cultural aspects and like bringing them wider attention.
Right. Usually
all the
it's about
that comes
like
with that.
It's like, hey, ninjas are cool, or like cooking, or something a little bit more like universal, or something that like teenage boys like when it comes to like Shonen Jump. And so the fact that this series has existed in Jump now for 3-4 years and has seemingly, It's never been like the number one thing in the magazine, but it has survived, which is really difficult to do in Shonen Jump. Like, it's pretty ruthless in terms of like keeping a series alive. And now it's getting
That's kind of what I wanted to ask you. Like, if I don't know if you can just like give me a number, but like, is there any way you could like give more percent? Because like, I think one thing about you that makes you a good like manga / anime reviewer is that you get more into the weeds than I ever do. Like, I very much am seeing things that are popular and kind of blow up, versus like I feel like you are like digging through these like single chapter things that are probably gonna die, and that was kind of like the energy that Akane-banashi had when you originally watched it, which is what inspired you to like make a video about it. Like, what would you say is the like success rate, if you could even like estimate that?
Well, that was on my mind a lot when I first made that video, because I was trying to become a better manga fan, and I am by far not the like end all be all. Like, I read everything. Like, I mostly still read seinen and shonen, right? I don't read as much shoujo or josei. I don't think I've ever read a josei series. And so there are people who are even more in the weeds about this and who go and seek out series that are in different magazines beyond the Shonen Jump umbrella, right? I'm not that person. I want to be that person, but it takes time. Within Shonen Jump, though, there is an interesting hierarchy of like authors that are more successful versus less successful, how important like having a good producer is, or an editor. Sometimes a producer is the editor. Who you get like recommended for, where your placement is in the magazine. And there is not like a hard and fast rule to any of this, but I've now been reading, I try basically everything that comes to the magazine for Shonen Jump. And I've seen I've seen manga come and go, right, that have gotten like 20 chapters and maybe like a 2-chapter wrap up because they aren't popular enough and they get canceled. And it's really sad. There was a manga I was reading that I never really liked that much, but it just had a we're going to rush to the end wrap up like last week or a few weeks ago, which is Wild Strawberry. And, you know, it just kind of fizzled out. And it's a very interesting medium where, unlike like a show where it's like, oh, it never got picked up for a final season, like most of the time manga they'll get like 2 or 3 chapters and then the author will be like, I guess I'll throw every idea I had about this series out the wall and present it in like 40 pages and then just kill any potential for the series to move on forward. Like, it's a very dramatic and sad thing when this happens. And you can usually feel it coming because like either the manga will try and pivot multiple times and maybe do a little bit of trend chasing. Like, it might introduce like a bunch of new characters all at once that are kind of tropey, but it's like what's popular at the moment. Or it might do like a big plot twist or a time jump or like all these different things to try and like drum up attention and keep it afloat. And then usually it still fizzles out and dies. And it's very sad.
Yeah. That's very unfortunate and interesting to have like observed those patterns. It's like, because I think like what makes it hard to do the kind of like trench digging that you talk about, and like probably why it would be harder for you to like do even more like of going through like every, you know, minor manga that's getting like published or whatever, is like there is just so much heartbreak. And like I don't know if you get number to it, but like to me it is like really painful to engage with a story that like just doesn't get the follow through or gets like killed off so like kind of unceremoniously, you know. It's a lot of pain, and it's why I like a little bit more guarded and like a little bit more hesitant to engage with series that I don't feel like are going to go somewhere, because I don't know, unsatisfying endings can really just like be a gut punch in like so many series. It can be like very frustrating.
I'll say this, a lot of the times the manga that I've read that have gone that route where they've like only made it to like, around. Usually it's like around 25 chapters or maybe around 50. Like they either like they get through the first year or the first half a year, and then maybe the first year, and then they die. Usually they're not the greatest manga. Like they're not the cream of the crop. There are situations where like a manga has a lot of potential and it dies really early, but at that point you're only invested like 17, 18 chapters. Like it's not living rent free in your head most likely if you are reading it at that time and it gets the axe. But it is like, oh, I feel like that was going somewhere or it could have gone somewhere, and now it is like they really burn the bridge when a manga series like is canceled. Like there's rarely a chance for a series to like come back because they like mess up the plot at the last minute or what have you.
Yeah, that's a very harsh system. But thankfully that didn't happen to Akane-banashi.
Yeah.
So let's talk more about it. I'm curious to hear about this like rakugo performance that you watched. Where were you able to like go see it?
So I went to like the local university in my town, and they just happened to be having like a rakugo performance as part of their like Japanese society.
Oh wow!
What our mutual friend AM took me to it, and it was great.
Oh wow!
And yeah, shout out. But it was in English, obviously. So like I didn't get the true rakugo experience, but I got a lot better of an idea of like. It's one thing to read it, but to see it in person, like how someone with just their voice and a very limited amount of tools, like you can't stand up, you can't run around the audience, you have to sit on a cushion and convince people with like a little fan, and that's basically like all you can do. It was crazy to like find myself sinking into the story and being like caught up in it and feeling out different characters that are all from the same performer. And yeah, it was really neat. And people asked it was a female rakugoka, and people were asking her all about like, what's it like to like be in a more male-dominated space and be a rakugoka? And people asked her about Akane-banashi, which I thought was very cool. I was like, oh, I know what they're talking about. But yeah, I was just very impressed. I got a better sense for like how you actually portray multiple different characters and like how important like the rhythm and flow of it is, where like it really, she had a real like measured way about it to where like I'd sink in and be like, I'm just absorbing the story now, and I can kind of see the characters as they're being played out, and I can feel them in the ways that she had different mannerisms for different people, or like different, it's more complicated than this, but like this character's always looking left and this character's always looking right, and then they're gonna like have a dialogue with each other, and it's all one person's voice, but you do like forget that. And these are things that the manga sells you on, but I didn't. Seeing it in person was like, oh yeah, this is seems pretty accurate.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Like I said, I watched a couple like rakugoka like performing on YouTube. I unfortunately like didn't get to the end of either video, which like the punchline like is like a huge part of it, which is unfortunate for me. So I'm continuing to remain uneducated, but yeah, like definitely that aspect is like so impressive. Like the first one I watched, it was like probably the first video to like come up on YouTube, but it was like this older performer who seemed to be like I believe he like passed away, but like seemed to be like a very legendary performer. And like the way he was just in this rhythm of like, he's like explaining like the setup of like this like where they have people stay in this house, and like the like how different like these different men are like having different approaches to try and become popular, and like the one guy shows up and it just comes to a screeching halt where they're like going back and forth and like arguing and like being like, I tried this and I tried this and it just didn't work or whatever, and then like this one guy just kind of comes in and he's like, and then just like interrupts. He's like, oh god, this guy, and he's just goes back to like peacefully kind of like nodding. And you just like this new character enters and just like T-bones the pacing and like the feel of everything.
But that new character
I thought
is
it was
the
very
same
impressive
actor,
and
right?
cool.
Like it's the same Rakugoka,
Right.
And that's what's so crazy about it. It's like, but you can feel like this is a new person.
Yeah. And like stuff. The other thing that I thought was like a really cool thing that the manga pointed out early on that like I was kind of like trying to pay attention for and like could notice in like the videos I was watching was the like line of sight and how looking like varying your line of sight could like influence the depth perception of like how close like these two people are. So, you know, she's trying to have like her friend like take a video of her like performing
Akane in the manga, you mean?
and she's being like so specific about like the camera angle needs to be this way because you need to like observe it from this specific angle in order to like see that I'm like performing like these things correctly.
Right.
Very cool and interesting art form.
If memory serves, she's working on the story that she's going to perform in the tournament, and it's a kid plays heavily into that story, right? So she says to her friend who's now like who's the bully from the first chapter, she's like, yeah, my sight line's all over the place, and it's like she's trying to point, like make it clear that like when she's looking down, she's looking at the kid, and the kid has to be a certain height, and so like that's just such a it's one of the, I think there's a lot to Rakugo of like it's, you can't tell why something's wrong, but it is wrong if it's done the wrong way. There's like so much to consider that is then if the Rakugoka's doing it correctly, you don't notice it at all, which is a really fun aspect. The thing that always jumps out to me about this as a topic, or like about Rakugoka or about Rakugo, is people normally know the story, or you present the story multiple times in like a tournament style thing like we see in the manga. Like that's not uncommon for people to have heard the story before, and it's like, how do you make something fresh? Like, could you imagine hearing the same stand-up, like hearing the same jokes over and over again? Like, that doesn't seem like it would work or translate to a Western audience. But the manga convinces me that like, oh yeah, there is such a huge difference between like how Akane presents the story in the first, like in the prelims versus in the finals. Like you can feel the difference, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like I think the whole art form as a medium, and this is like I know that this is an oversimplification of Rakugo based solely on what I learned about it from these chapters of Akane-banashi. But there is like, I think a apt way of describing it is kind of like stand-up comedy with like just huge weights on, like just not being so limited in like certain things to do. And it's like, there's a lot of like analogies to be made obviously between Rakugo and like stand-up comedy. And it's like really interesting, like the way that stand-up gets talked about with like, oh, you're like a gimmick comedian, or like, oh, this comedian is like just getting all the attention because they're hot and they're not even that funny or whatever, or like, you know, doing the same set over and over again with like, and all the stuff that gets talked about that, like the art form of telling a story live in front of a bunch of people and trying to like entertain them, like when broadened out like to include that like scope, it was very interesting to like make those comparisons. When you look at Rakugo, it's like there's a purity and a strip down, because the art form here is like in these like very specific nuances, and those nuances are only heightened because you're limited in like the types of movements that you can make with your body, the fact that you're not like pulling out a mic that has like a deep voice changer in order to like play a different character.
You're having to do that yourself.
You're not getting to do like you know, flips and jumps and like physical comedy in that specific way, but there is an element of physical comedy to it, and you're not able to like you know, you're limited to making sounds with like specific props, and like the amount of creativity that can like flourish when you have like limiters like that. Yeah, and then but then yeah, like also to highlight some like a lot of differences between stand-up comedy is like the whole like history aspect, and like the explaining about immersing people in a story, and like you don't have to leave a rakugo performance like gut busting laughing. Like you can leave a performance being like, oh wow, like that's really
right. So like
one of her
one of her four like older brother people in like her little sect of rakugo, his whole thing is you walk away feeling like you were educated. Like it's all narration, it's not character, and that is like that's a whole different tone to like someone doing a voice and being like, I'm now this person and I'm now this person. It's like, well, this happened to this person and that meant this and that meant that. And that's like Akane-banashi, like one of the best things about it is that rakugo really works for like, this is my special technique, which is such a manga thing. Like you and I both have a childhood love for Naruto, right? And it's like, that guy uses bugs and this person uses shadows. And Akane-banashi's like, this person is a former or is a voice actress, and she uses like drama and brings the tears. This guy's like a seductress. This person's so stoic that it's everything he does is funny because it's told so seriously. Like, and this keeps going, by the way. Like this manga's been running for now 3-4 years, and there are so many different techniques and styles, and you see with Akane, like, styles evolve, and it's one of those things where she's such an anime protagonist where it's like everybody else is just doing their best technique, and Akane is always challenged by someone in this organization to get out of her comfort zone and become a stronger performer by not relying on her best like aspects. And you see that in this first arc where it's like, all right, you have to do a story that everyone already knows. Like, you have to do one of the most common stories and essentially win with, like, a strong right hook is the analogy they give, right?
Yeah.
They continue with this idea. There's the arc that she's in right now is she's trying to win a similar style setup with, but without making the audience laugh. And it's like, that's so unfair. Everyone else can make the audience laugh. Like, that's so hard. How do you, like, take away comedy from this, like, art form and still like give a good performance? But it's really believable in the sense that it's like, oh, you can see how someone with a different style could do that, right?
Yeah, totally. And it follows that like structure of like, you're gonna do everything to the hardest, you're gonna be the best, you're gonna learn and like grow from your challenges. It's like a really creative and great idea of like turning this like kind of difficult to understand, complex like art form with these historical roots into something that can be like, I'm increasing my power
into
level
a shonen
and, like,
battle
all this
series.
kind of stuff.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, there's so many like there's certain tropes like the there's one character and I'm gonna forget his name. It starts with a J. He's oh no, it's right here. His name is Guriko. And he is like kind of the first of the like 4 older siblings, I guess, in her like apprenticeship that goes to meet her in like the opening kind of, or I think it's
he's the
like the
perspective
second
character
chapter,
of the second chapter. Yeah, like
about,
he's the one who discovers like the secret apprenticeship
training
between Akane and their master.
Yeah, and like he is like just filling the trope of like pushing up his glasses and being like, their power level, like every single like just like analyzing and just like ranting off like all the things, and then then you have all the other people in the audience going, oh, you know, like
it literally has the like, while the shonen battle is happening, we're gonna cut to the audience and we're gonna like talk with like her childhood friend or her counselor. I really like the counselor character. She's not like a major character, but I just like that she's sitting there going like, can you explain this to me? Like, I'm an outsider to rakugo, but like it seems like this is working and this isn't, and like, wait, I don't get this. And like, it's so shonen. It is so shonen, even though it's
Yeah.
about Rakugo.
Which is crazy because and like this is like getting to the point of like telling the same story over and over again, and like somehow you make it entertaining. Is like I grew up, I think more so even than Naruto, like Pokemon. I watched so much of the Pokemon anime growing up, and there are so many battles that are just like 50% of the episode is Brock being like, he's using quick attack,
Right.
and it's so boring. It's like, all right, man, I get it. You're not adding any. Just like make the battle shorter and just get on with the plot or something. Just the kind of like fillery nature of that sometimes, and how unfortunate that can be. But like this is like we're learning actual knowledge from the swirly glasses person describing the battle, because it's like a real like Pokemon battles aren't real,
Right.
and it's a real thing that they're teaching, like you're learning while you go, and then you care about the things that you're learning because you care about the character Akane, and you're invested in the plot, and you're invested in her overcoming all these challenges, and all these people bring out these like cool, crazy different things, and how is she gonna overcome them with all these limitations? Like it's good. It really funnels you in like the right direction.
Right. You're
really
learning a lot of
entertaining.
times there's an audience surrogate that's learning, and it's not a samurai. It's not a ninja. It's not things you've seen like 100 million times, right? Like it is so specific, but also it can apply to these tropes that always work, right? A rivalry, a tournament, a character who has an unfair challenge like applied to them that they have to overcome, a revenge tale. Like it is so I love that first chapter so much. That's what most of my video a couple years ago was about.
Yes.
That like it is such a good setup where it's like, am I watching someone get into like an obscure storytelling art form, or am I watching someone like avenge her father,
He died.
He didn't, but he
was
did.
killed. They basically are like, yeah, he's dead. Hey, they're like, yeah, he's working at a cement company. He's not in the manga anymore, guys.
He's dead.
He's gone.
He's not dead, but he's dead.
Yeah, and like I'm sure
they always show him like turned away from
right?
the camera. It's just so well framed and composed, and it's perfect.
Yeah, and it's like the weight when he is featured in the manga again will be insane, and like I'm sure you've read up to that point, but like yeah, it's so beautifully written, the like revenge story, the character arc. What an opening, and like it just puts you in like the shoes of like this is the way that this could go the worst, like these are like
well, by having like that first
chapter
chapter follow Shinta's like story, right, and you have Akane like kind of orbiting around him, and you fall in love with his storytelling, and you fall in love with the idea of Rakugo like from a daughter father like relationship. Like, oh, it's just so good, it's so juicy, so dramatic,
right?
And like seeing her sitting on like the mat, like looking through the crack in the door, watching him get ready, and then seeing that performance like at the scale of like a big presentation in an auditorium like later on, like it really works. It works really well, and he does it. That's the best part, is that he successfully like pulls out and gets like past his nerves and like gives a good performance, or does he? But then just the weight of that, like the expulsion is so good. Isho is such a cool villain, like, or antagonist.
I legitimately cried like in this first chapter, like easily. It was so heartbreaking, like the weight of everything. I don't even know. I wish I took notes on like when my tears started, but like I feel like I probably started crying before it even got to like the bad part.
Yeah, I get excited when he's like, I've read this chapter like a million times. I get so excited when he's doing it. Yeah. It's like it's working. Like he hears Akane in the audience, and then he like. It like centers him, and it's so good.
Yeah, and then it just comes crashing down. this villain guy, I don't know about this.
So I gave you a specific number of chapters because I needed you to get to like that point where Akane and Isho meet again. And yeah, he's just the best. He carries so much weight. I love he's drawn something I picked up on for the first time, like reading it this most recent time. I've read the manga a couple times now, but like for this preparation for this podcast, something I realized is like he's drawn most of the time in like a super stylized way. And it's a little bit like a hybrid between how the characters in the real world are drawn and how the characters in the stories they're telling are drawn. Like, he's such a master of rakugo that he almost is like absorbed into that style, that art style, which is meant to represent like the storytelling. And it's like, he's so good. He is rakugo. Like, he's Mr. Rakugo. And he's also just this evil old man. I love him.
He's also just this grumpy old bitch. My favorite, I think one of my favorite pieces of character writing is it's reintroducing him basically, because he only appears in that like first chapter, and then like
and you just hear people talk about it most of the time.
Yeah, and it's like reintroducing him like as he's about to like enter the judging for like the like Rakugo, the junior amateur Rakugo tournament that takes place at the end of the section of chapters that we're reading. And like the way he's just like, when there's like the woman that's like has to talk to him, I forget for what reason. Do you know what I'm talking about?
They're essentially like doing like a little promo for the tournament, and it's like, hey, how's it going, Mr. Isho? You know, some people find you kind of intimidating, and it just cuts to him, and he's kind of kindly old man. He's like, oh, well, you know, this is a practice about like comedy. You know, I can be lighthearted.
Yeah, but then he just like says and does these like little shitty things to where she's just like she's like, okay, man. Like, she's just kind of like, Jesus, oh god.
Well, and like people who know him better, right? So like one of the other judges in the tournament, like, is his underling, right? And he, and also the MC, who is his like new apprentice, who's like set up to be Akane's like main rival, they're both like,
right,
you're laying it on a little thick there, Isho, when he's like nice to these high schoolers, because it's an amateur tournament, right? So like his words are heavy, and he still like kind of backseat compliments people, but I don't know, like you can feel like the mode switching for him, where he's trying to be welcoming into the Rakugo world, like that's the point of the tournament.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's so into Rakugo that he can't help but be like, I did not care for that. However, you did it well. And it's just like, God, this guy sucks. Or
there's like the like compliment sandwich thing, but like for him it's a little bit more of a compliment open faced sandwich, where like he has to let out the negativity and then he'll twist it around.
Right.
And give him and then it's like a surprise compliment, and then you're like, oh wow, this guy's so awesome, he like saw me, like
you know, have you ever seen the Key and Peele bit where it's like parroting like MasterChef or Chopped or what have you, and it's like, that dish made me feel terrible because I can't eat any more of it. It's like, Did you like it, chef, or did you not like it? I can't really tell. And it just does that for like 4 minutes. That's how I feel about you.
Just like keeps going back and forth. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, but I think I like the scene with him and the women, because it's just a little bit of a like, we're getting out of the Rakugo world. Like, who is this person? Who is this as like a human being? Which like you were kind of saying, like you expected that to maybe like start to take over, and there are hints of it throughout. Like, we have Akane talking to her school counselor and her like school friend who was like the bully or whatever, and like getting a bit of a perspective of like, hey, you gotta like keep going to high school, you can't just like drop out and do Rakugo. But like, yeah, like I think it is just like a little bit of a like, he's trying not to be a dick, but he's just such a curmudgeon. He's so intense. I don't know.
He like the kayfabe is it's great.
Yeah, it's razor thin, and then it's so good because then when Akane gets up, he can't hide. Like,
What
it's
a public thing to say, right? When he sees when she finishes performing, and he just goes, "You know, you're not supposed to be here.
You don't
right?
belong here."
It is so intense and incredible, and it's just, and these are like the most headstrong people. It is like immovable object and uncontrollable force. Like it's crackling with tension, and we're talking about Rakugo. I can't get over it. It's like so great.
It's amazing.
Did you like the I want to switch gears a little bit here. Did you like her competitors? We have 2.
Can we complain about him more?
Oh, sure. Okay.
Because I didn't. Just to get my point, because I do want to talk about the competitors. They're both awesome. I think I have a problem with just him because it's like, yeah, man, I get it. You want to protect your culture, but like, there's just something about it. And there were like little hints of like, and I don't really know that we're supposed to take this as like, this is the truth about like the fact that it's being speculated on this early, and like based on how good the writing in the series is, I don't really necessarily think it's going to be this. But there's kind of like speculation of like he came down so hard and did this expulsion thing in a way because it kind of like boosted his career, like that kind of like negativity, like Akane's father was almost like a sacrifice for like the greater good of like the art form or something.
They get into like the politics of the different schools of Rakugo, right? So like he's the Arakawa, he's the head of the Arakawa like sect. I don't know if sect is the right word, but I don't really have an equivalent for it. But like he's the GM of this baseball team. But he has like and then there are 4 arch sect leaders, and one of them is her master, right? And one of them is the other judge in the competition. But there are little hints that it's like, did he do this? Was Shinta really that bad at Rakugo that he was worth like fucking like annihilating from space with a giant laser?
Yeah.
Or did he just want to like make a big splashy headline?
Yeah, and because the expulsion is like such a, it's like just because it was implied that he like failed before, or not implied. Was it not stated that he'd like failed before
Shinta, her dad.
Exam? Yeah.
I don't quite remember. I think it's essentially
am I remembering that.
I think it's like he's getting too old to still be this level, right? Like he's a Futsume, I think, which is like the 2nd level, and he's trying to become a Shinichi.
Oh yeah, Futsume, yeah.
And I'm getting the pronunciation wrong, I'm sure, but he's trying to become like the level of his master, and I don't know if it's so much so that he's like applied and lost before, or more just that he's like running out of chances to do this before he's like aging out of it, and also he's like making no money and is not very successful.
I see. Yeah.
But he expels
I don't know.
all of the people in that tournament. Like he expels like 6-7 people, it seems like.
Right. Yeah, that's true as well. Which is like, I don't know. I think that he seems like such a type, which is like, you get these grumpy old people. I'm not going to be misandrist, but you get these grumpy old people who are in positions of power, and they just kind of like let it get to their heads, and they are good at what they do, but they are just so like.
Here's the problem, Mallory. Not future spoilers. He's really good at what he does, and it's not as simple as like this guy's a jackass and Akane has to defeat him. It's also that. Yeah, but every time they meet, and they're going to meet again, it is fascinating. Like, what is this guy's deal? And was her dad good at Rakugo? Like, it's the question at the heart of the series. Because even if he's not like incredible, he's the inspiration for her, and she's clearly incredible, right? So it's like there's many layers to it. That relationship's going to continue for a long, long time, as is her relationship with her master, her father, all these different characters, her rivals. It's great. It's really cool.
Just annoys me so much. I know it's like I'm just being the same as the stubborn like protagonist, but it's just like I remember I was at I because like you experience stuff like this like growing up, like you receive kind of like harsh criticism in like one way or another in like the arts, and I think when you're a kid it's very easy to be like, guess I am stupid. But like I as a teacher in like one of the middle schools I taught at, they did like a big art portrait competition, and they did these big paintings, and then the art teacher came up, and the art teacher is this old fuck who is just always kind of like, oh, and he just a spacey, like just completely just coasting guy, and he gets up on stage, and like this is his opportunity. Like these kids work so hard on it, and the point of you should be to inspire. Like this is not like you could maybe give this guy the excuse,
time to
right?
take these punks
like,
down. Yeah.
This is peak of the art form, you know, but this is like exactly what the first tournament is like these are the junior rakugoka, and he's like saying stuff to like inspire and encourage them, and he just gets up there, he's like, yeah, this was kind of derivative and this, and I was like, fuck you, man. And then like afterwards I was just like feeling like I really like this one. I think this was really like just trying to say it to as many people as I can, because I did think it was good, and it was good. And I'm like, this, it just makes me so mad when
you're the student counselor or you're
people
the counselor
have
being
that
like, no,
power.
but these kids are doing so well.
Yeah, it's like people have that power, and then they just lazily kind of choose to use it for like, let me crush someone's dreams.
It's the whiplash
I don't
conundrum.
trust your judgment.
It's the whiplash conundrum, like 100%. It's like, is the worst thing you can say good job? Like, is a participation trophy detrimental to the art form or what have you? And the manga has not landed on an answer. I will say that. And is really cool and compelling.
Yeah. Ugh. Now I'm gonna get mad at J.K. Simmons again. All right, let's get back. You asked me about the rivals. We should, man. This is cool.
I did ask you about the rivals. So we have Hikaru, who is a like up and coming like voice actress and classic like.
Oh yeah.
This character is famous, but also like 17. Like, how's that work? I don't know. Japan, why? And then Karashi, who is essentially like a prodigy at anything he does, and so he's just kind of like not taking this very seriously, but is really good at what he does, and he's like the person who is like anti-traditional form. Like those are our two like not rivals yet, but like our competitors for this Rakugo tournament, right? What did you think about them?
Yeah. I mean, they're both sick. They're both really, really cool. I really enjoyed both of them. Like, they both immediately stood out. Their, like, character designs were really cool and, like, just communicate so much about them. Like, you immediately got, like, long hair sleeveless, like, the sleeves, like, hanging off here. Like, I was scanning this guy for, like, tattoos and I didn't see any, but I was like, boy, howdy. If he just had, like, a snake going up here, he would be perfect.
He's such a punk. I love him.
Yeah, and then like he starts like doing the modern thing, and immediately, and I'm like, that's where I would be on the spectrum of Rakugoka. Like,
see, I agree, you know? And I thought that like reading it, but then you see so many traditional performances that every time he comes around, I'm like, this guy again, he's gonna sit here and make a mockery of Rakugo, and I'm becoming the old man over time, because it's just like, it feels unfair, but also the perspective of like, Rakugo should evolve, it should change, it should bring people into the modern world. Like, it's not wrong, it's just a different way of thinking about it. But I like how dramatically different it is to like Akane or Hikaru.
Yeah. I feel like if he only sticks to one gimmick and doesn't evolve, then like I would definitely side against him more. But like as far as I've seen with like his introduction, I'm like, whoa, you're bringing something cool and new, like hot energy, and like you're challenging. It's like, for better or for worse, when you're like introducing something new to an art form and then we see whether it like becomes part of it or not. Like, that to me is like when art is like at its most exciting, you know?
100%.
So I really like that. But yeah, like, you know, voice actress as well as like a really good character. She has the classic Kansai Ben, like where she is like, oh, I'm talking like all country, and then she has to like
Put on airs and be a city girl. Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of fun. Like she was the one that I was like, oh, I would be like super interested to see like where her character arc kind of goes. And like, you know, you have the whole scene with like Akane like overhearing her. I'm like, wow, like she is like a cool, and like her thing being acting, her thing being like I can and like hide my true feelings or whatever, in a way that you get the sense that like Akane and a lot of the other performers, like oh my god, what's his name? Kyoji, the
shaved head guy,
like one of her older brothers. Yeah, shaved head guy. He kind of can't act, or at least he can't hide the part of himself that is like so just straight laced and straightforward and like serious.
Right.
You
so
know?
they leaned into it.
So he leans into it and incorporates it, versus she is able to just be a different person fully and like, you know, disconnect in that way. That is like super duper interesting, and it's like stuff that like you hear actors and comedians talk about all the time, like whether their personas on stage or whether they're these like skilled chameleons that are able to like embody all sorts of different, like completely different roles, is like cool stuff to reflect on. So yeah,
something I love
the rivals I'm immediately in love with.
Yeah, they're cool characters, but something I love about her performance is that she's doing the story that Shinta did before he got expelled. And it's like they talk about it as a coincidence, but it's like a thing that just like throws Akane off, or it could potentially. But you see in her performance, like she focuses on the mother character in that story, whereas Shinta focused on the dad character, and Akane like was in tune with him. He like embodied her mother as part of the performance, but it was like it felt realistic because it was like father and mother like having a chat about their child, and like that resonated with Akane really well. And then Hikaru's version of it, the mother takes center stage, and then in Isho's evaluation of her performance, he's like, a high schooler shouldn't be able to do this, but you did because you're talented, and it's just really neat.
Wow. Yeah, it's cool. They're really cool. Can we talk about the Akane's harem that she enters into?
Listen, there is no romance. Akane is in love with Rakugo, and that is it. She might as well be asexual, but every guy that is introduced could be like her boyfriend.
I know, but here's the thing. There is just a certain vibe, like that was when. So the author, as far as I know, has not disclosed their gender, but it was like kind of like I think, especially coming off of like I've been watching like a lot of like Dandadan and like for all the like good stuff that series does, it's like it's still like a very male perspective show, I feel like. And I think that like you're like I think it's like chapter 3 or whatever where they're introduced. It's like when she opens the door and there's just these 4 like men that all are like different. Like there's the shy one, and then there's the showy one, and then there's the serious one, and then there's the kind of like weak down to earth one.
It has a little
and you're just like,
high school host club vibes. Yeah, no, I get you.
It really does, in the best possible way. Maybe I was grinning from ear to ear when I saw that. And it's like, I feel like it strikes a good balance, honestly, where it's like it's not really a harem, and you're right that like it kind of doesn't really seem to be implied to have any like romance with any of them. However, I feel like if you're a reader that was like wanting to imagine them as like your boyfriends, you could just kind of enjoy like the vicarious thing of like their different personality. Like they're definitely showed there. I feel like the ships, this is what I'm excited for. I feel like when this series goes live, I feel like the shipping content I'm about to see,
I want that to happen
these
because it will
guys
mean that more attention will come to the show. This is my evil mastermind plan.
Yeah. It's gonna go well. I think that Maikeru, he's the one character that in this introductory chapters that you showed me, like the other well, I guess Oh my god, I keep forgetting
The
his
names
name.
are tough. I get you.
Gudetama Guriko. Um, it's Guriko and Maikuru don't get like as much focus, or at least we haven't like learned about
So
their
far, right.
specific rakugo styles, which
Right.
is like what we. I feel like once you learn that, like you kind of have gotten the basis of the character. But Koguma and Kyoji, like we get like each introduced to like their scenes and their character and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I'm very excited for Maikuru when that drops. I think because I feel like he's just gonna
cool
be
character.
like Tumblr bait. Like he's
Yes.
it's really good. And I think one thing this series does well as well, like the manga, is like they have Akane-banashi at the bottom of the like each chapter, like these like little mini sketchy kind of stories that they just kind of throw together. They do so much like work to like characterize these characters and give them like.
I love that tradition in manga of like the one panel, like
Yes.
what are they doing? Like you just see them like hopping on a bike to like go travel to the show or whatever, and it's just like so much personalities like portrayed, or potential ships, or potential like reading into these characters interacting outside of the normal like plot.
Yeah, and it works so well in this series because the like it's so focused, like laser focused on like the arc in like the best possible way, that like having these like little breathers that you can totally skip past if you're in like that page turner, like gotta see what happens type of mode. But like just add these little, like some of my favorite things that happened were in those little panels. There was one where Michael was like he it showed like because when she's like master and like she like charges home and she like opens the door and it's like and he's like he's not here, but let's have a party instead. And then it just shows like him 2 days earlier. Wait, she's performing in a contest? Great opportunity. Buying the alcohol, getting everything set up, and then like posing, just waiting at the door in the pose in order to like orchestrate this moment. It's like all of that. You're like, this is good. Like they get it.
Yeah, the series is
my
so
other favorite,
laser focused on Rakugo that like anytime there's like some interactions either with people who aren't in Rakugo or just in general, like some like breathing room, it is endearing and it's like leaves you wanting more, right?
Yeah. No, same with the other one I want to highlight was Shiguma, the master, where he makes a comparison between like the levels of Rakugo, and he's explaining, and he's like, this is what it would be for like manga, and it's kind of like a meta joke because obviously like
you're reading a manga, right?
And the person's writing a manga. But then he like at the bottom of the chapter is like, this is what it would be in baseball. This is what it would be in horse racing. He's just kind of like going on a train, like absentmindedly, not really paying attention. They'd be like, hey, you have too many interests.
Yeah, he's like, there's always like little hints
yeah.
that he's like kind of a nerd, or that he just has like he really likes drinking and he really likes like seemingly nerd stuff like manga or sports or what have you. Like he's a well-rounded person, and that's kind of part of his character.
Totally, yeah, no, very, very endearing old man. But really
he always wears the dapper old man like hat and like long
stuff.
coat, and it's like, yeah,
yes, yeah, iconic old man. And I think that like I'm highlighting all these moments that are like breaks from the Rakugo, but like I would not want more of them for the world. Like they are special because of how just stripped down and just laser like this story is about this character arc and this becoming better and training and learning different styles, like, and it flows so well, and it's just, you know,
and it's like you get half to a full Rakugo performance like every like 1.5 chapters. Like they are like, this is about Rakugo, and you're gonna like it, damn it. And it really is like that pace continues, I would say, for like the vast majority of the manga.
That's really awesome.
I keep thinking like they're gonna run out of things to talk about, and they don't, when it comes to like both the stories, because there's a limited number of stories, but also like all the different aspects of performance.
Yeah, the styles and the evolution, like that's something that can be so difficult to like pace. Like people talk about like power creep in like traditional kind of like battle shonen and stuff like that of like, you know, it's like, well, this guy can like, or like Avengers, like it's like, oh, this guy can like snap his fingers and destroy the entire or half the world's population or whatever. It's like, well, where do you go from there? Like we've kind of like every movie now has to have an apocalyptic event. Like this is before Endgame, you know. Every movie has to have an apocalyptic event in order to feel like it has any weight or stakes.
Well, so many like anime and manga make the mistake of being like, this character can never lose. Okay, well, I guess they're gonna win. Like it is tension breaking, right? I never feel like Akane is safe when she's in a competition or having to like win over someone in this organization, right? Like it continues to be tense and it continues to be engaging and exciting, and she doesn't always win. And what does that mean? And yeah, I hope the anime has, in my mind, a tall order of like, how is it going to adapt? Like the thing I haven't, there's a very short trailer and it hasn't really shown how they're going to be doing the story Rakugo beats, like that part of it. And if they can't pull that off, it's going to be like trouble. But I really hope that they do a good job. The studio that's doing it is a studio I'm not very familiar with. Like I think their most well-known anime, at least that in recent times, is like Yuri on Ice, which I never saw.
Oh damn.
What's up? What does that mean?
It's like gotta watch Yuri on Ice.
Oh, I see. But yeah, it's a tall order. Like some of the news that's coming out is like they're making the voice actors do Rakugo. Like they're like, you've got to be able to nail like a character playing a character, and so that's got me pretty excited. They're pushing really hard this trio of Hikaru, Akane, and Karashi, which I get in the sense that like it's the most shonen-y the series gets. Like we have a trio of rivals, but it's not really what Akane-banashi's about. Those two characters definitely are important and will continue to come up, and it's fun, and I really, really like them. But like there's a lot that isn't these three people like in constant rivalry.
When you say pushing, are you talking like in terms of the season 1 they're pushing them a lot?
In terms of like the trailer and like the art they've released, like they're really focusing on them and not so much like Akane's like siblings or master or what have you.
Right.
But we'll see. I mean,
I hope. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I pitched you this number of chapters because I'm assuming this is vaguely what like season 1 will cover.
Yeah.
So I get wanting to push those characters.
I really, really hope. I really, really hope like that this is what season 1 covers, and I think if that's true, it makes sense that they would be put, because they are kind of like the final bosses, you know, in that sense.
It's like the final bosses of like her in like high school life, right? Before she like goes on.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the in terms of like this arc, like where I finished, like if it had stopped here, it's kind of a satisfying story in a way. I would obviously want more of it. But it is kind of like, you know, the revenge arc could kind of like end here in a way of like, okay, I now share this understanding with like the final boss or whatever. And obviously it's not fully satisfying because like we haven't talked to Dad, and obviously we know that like she's still dedicated to like taking this guy down or whatever, proving herself.
But Mallory, what if it was a prologue? Like what if it was just a prologue to more cool things to come? Sorry, continue.
No, that's what I'm saying is like I fully am excited. I'm gonna keep reading this fucking manga. It's really cool. But what I'm saying is like it works as a contained story. You know what I mean?
It is a good. It's unlike Dawn to Dawn. It has a very clear season 1 in my mind.
Yeah, and like I guess I just feel so passionately about that. Like it does really irritate me. Like. Bringing up Dawn, but it just does really grind my gears that they cut the episodes the way that they did, and it's like I get it, and things happen the way they happen, and episode orders happen the way they happen, but like, man, I wish you had just like padded stuff out and then cut it. I don't know. People might disagree with me. I just really like the harmoniousness of like this is the arc, and it's getting complete within this like framework or whatever, and you're not left on like this weird like middle of the setup of an arc, like the last few episodes. So that's my hope, is that it
I'm
ends
also
in,
assuming
that
that
kind of satisfying place.
I pitched you 27 chapters. That's a really quick pace for if an anime is like 12 episodes. Like that's more than 2 chapters an episode, which is usually not. Like a lot of times anime will be somewhere around like a chapter and a half to 2 chapters. Like that's, they'll probably get there. I think that it would make the most sense to get through the cup, the Karashi Cup or whatever it's called. But yeah, I'm hoping, you see, this is the other problem with reading manga and like getting invested in it before it becomes an anime, is like, then you have the anxiety of like, but what if they get it wrong? And I'm going to be sad. Like not everything gets
they could blow
the
it.
Don Science Saru treatment, where it's like,
Right.
it gets assigned to a dedicated studio that really gets the vibe and the feeling of the series. Like it doesn't always happen that way. We're not sitting here doing a Sakamoto Days episode right now because Sakamoto Days like had a horrible adaptation, and it's just like, oh, well, that kind of kills the momentum a lot.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we're in anxiety about this, but this manga will continue to exist like without the anime and stand on its own 2 feet, and it deserves all the praise it can get. It's got a really good protagonist, and it's got a really good story arc, and it's got really good characters, and I like it. That's what I gotta say.
Well, Mallory, what would you rank it? Judge, we're here to evaluate this performance.
Maybe I'm a different breed. Maybe I'm a
Excuse
blame
me?
it on my ADD baby. There's a part of the lyrics where he goes, maybe I'm a different breed. Maybe I'm a Mizumi. And I'm like, girl, what is a Mizumi? What are you saying?
Are you telling?
I don't know.
So you bring up the hit song "Sail" that no one knows anymore, but you continue to shoehorn into this podcast.
AWOL Nation.
By the artist AWOL. What? Why?
No, it's AWOL Nation.
Why? Oh, AWOL Nation.
We would be AWOL Nation.
Oh, okay. AWOL Nation. AWOL Nation onces. A-holes. Anyway.
AWOL Nation, rise up.
What? Why are you bringing that up out of curiosity? God, it scares me every time. Are you saying that I pitched you another S-tier property? Is that what you're saying right now?
I'm getting caught up in the moment, man. I love this. This is good.
I'm so
this
happy.
is really good.
I wasn't sure about this
There's
one.
nothing wrong about this. Yeah, I love it. It's so cool. It's like, it's everything I like. Educational, female protagonist, male harem.
Male harem. Akane-banashi.
Male
Go read
harem.
it.
Grumpy old man is the bad guy and gets his ass kicked by cool young female in a good way. Like it. I'm about it. And I gotta see more and I gotta learn more. So yeah, that's my review of the prologue, I guess, of Akane-banashi. We'll see where the rest of the story takes us. But yeah, I'm excited for the animated adaptation too, and I'm gonna try and see a rakugo performance, so I'll freaking update you whenever that happens.
You need to report back.
Yeah. ジュゲム五行のすり切れ海砂で水魚の水魚松雲来松風来松空寝るところに住むところやぶら工事のぶら工事パイポの修輪岩のグーリンダイのポンポコピーのポンポコナの超級面の長介
Well, Mallory, it's now we're getting to the part of the show where you have to pitch something to me, and I feel like we've had some good conversations this week about like some potential ideas of like what you could pitch, and it'd be really good for the show, and maybe like would I mean I'm not I don't have any say in the matter, right? Like it's your week obviously, but I just feel like there's a lot going on in the world right now, and I feel like you could have a really relevant, really interesting talking point, a nice nice subject. Or not. Or not, either way.
So, August 29th, 2025.
What about it?
You know what day that is?
No.
It's going to be the day that the world shakes and is changed forever.
Is it going to be Heartstopper? What is it?
So we need to step away from these little indoor games, and we need to get back to Diva O'Clock. I know that we've been a little hesitant around reviewing music on this podcast. Infamously, we made an episode about Beyonce's Lemonade, during which I decided I'm going to make lemonade. Wasn't a very good episode, so I'm not going to do anything like that anymore. But I am going to try again to foray into this because I know that I'm not going to be able to think about anything else once it's released. Sam, August 29th, Sabrina Carpenter, Man's Best Friend. The album will finally be dropping, and we're going to be talking about it. So we got like 3 days, I think, to listen to it, and then we are going to let it loose with all of our opinions on what could be an atmosphere. The sophomore release of Sabrina Carpenter, not really. She made all these other albums that I've got to listen to in the back catalog. But yeah, that's what we got to talk about.
We're talking about Man's Best Friend. We're hating women.
We're talking about Man's Best Friend.
We're
talking
episode,
about
Sabrina Carpenter, enemy of women everywhere. Is that what you're saying? That's what we're going for?
Next episode, Sam, we are going to help men out because they need our help.
No, women.
They're
We're
lonely.
gonna take women down a peg. Isn't that what? That's what the album's about, right? That's what that album cover means.
We're gonna band together as women to help men out for once in their lives. Okay, we're gonna be, and we're gonna be watching the music video. She'll probably put another one out. Man-Child. Track 2, Track 4, Track 10. It's going to be a wild ride.
All right, we're doing
Very
music.
excited.
Did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? Okay, I'm down for this.
Yeah, we're gonna shake things up, and I'm gonna express love for my iconic diva currently in the world. But anyway,
we had laughs. We laughed. We cried. We talked about Rakugo. We're reviewing music again, which we're really bad at.
We sweat a lot.
We sweated so much.
Stressful doing a podcast.
It's been an episode for sure. Have a good evening, Mallory.
Have a great day, Steve.
Everybody go watch Mallory's video on Gigi. It's good.
Whoa.
And my video on Andor, which is out by now. Maybe.